Welcome back to Throttle. My name's Carl Schlacht. We created Throttle with all the hype around the bagger racing movement. We needed a place to come and talk to the racers, the insiders, and get all the scoop on what's going on in the bagger racing world. Throttle's brought to you by Browen's Furniture out of Allendale, Michigan. They're West Michigan's premier Amish showroom, and for 6 decades, since 1955, Browen's Furniture has been the go-to place for the highest quality American-made upholstery and Amish-crafted wood furniture. So if you're out in Michigan, check them out. We want to thank them for making this all possible. We're excited to talk to former professional supercross and motocross racer. He was a main event guy all the time. He's a bagger racer now, top amateur racer. He's overcame a lot in his life. Cody Gilmore from Iowa. He lives in Texas now. He raced last year. He was a front runner. What's going on?
Just hanging, man. Just got home from work and yeah, cleaning the house and hanging out. That's about it.
You ready to go racing this year?
Dude, it's coming up quick, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple weeks away. Nebraska, you're kind of close to there, right? Your pops actually.
Yeah, well, my parents live up in Iowa, and then I grew up there, obviously. Now, I lived in Omaha for quite a few years also when I was racing and stuff. So yeah, that's a couple hours away from where we're starting the races. So should be good.
All right, let's hear the Cody Gilmore story. You were a top amateur as a dirt bike racer, and where to go from there?
Yeah, well, heck, I raced, all the amateur stuff growing up on dirt bikes, and yeah, just kind of moved probably a little bit too early than I should have. Should have maybe waited in amateurs another year or two, but you kind of just hopped up quick back then, back in them days. So moved up to A class and pro, and then started racing supercross. And my first year was '05. I actually did Millville as a pro in '04. So yeah, I was pretty young doing it. I was only 16, and yeah, kind of just went quick and did some racing for a few years, and then ended up coming down with cancer actually, and had to do all them treatments for about a couple of years, and then yeah, slowly got back into racing again back in '09, and started racing supercross again, and yeah, I raced supercross and some outdoors till 2017. So yeah, it's kept me busy all the whole dirt bike life for a long time, that's for sure.
I believe your first race, Supercross in '05, was my first Supercross. Did you run East Coast or?
Yeah, I was at St. Louis.
Yep.
Yep, same here. So
The
St. Louis
first.
Supercross, and we went down to Daytona and then did Orlando.
Yeah, I remember. Were you on 250 or 450 then?
I actually raced 250F and 252 stroke at St. Louis and Orlando. And then Daytona, they only let you race one class. So I raced what would have been a 125 class back then, but 250F at that race. So yeah, I mean, I made in both night shows and both classes at both races, but I didn't make any mains. So it was pretty crazy. I think I got lapped by Carmichael and Stewart in Orlando in the heat race, and them guys come flying by me, which that's really a famous race now. If you go back on YouTube and watch it, it's pretty crazy.
So you've made a ton of main events. You were up there. You were, I'd say mid pack. You had some good ones. What was your favorite Supercross race?
Man, that's hard to say. I don't really have one that just sticks out where I'm like, that was absolutely my best. Man, it's hard to think. I had a couple good races. I had some 13s and 14s in the 450 class, I think. And, so obviously when you're up kind of close to the top 10, then we're going to be the good races for you. But, I still more think of like the more fun races that I had. Vegas was always a good time, kind of overcame some stuff and had a gnarly first turn pile up there one time in the heat race, and came back and about won the LCQ. And then, yeah, I led Chad Reed for dang near the whole race in St. Salt Lake and won LCQ one year. And then he passed me about a lap to go. So then we're always kind of cool. But the one that sticks out is I did pretty good at that night too in the 250 class, but the St. Louis Supercross that Pastrana designed. I don't know if you were there that year, but that track was sick. It was a good time. And
He
it was
raced.
just
Oh,
nothing like anything else. And it was cool. It was a good time. So, and St. Louis always had the best dirt, and it was awesome, awesome event. So that one kind of really sticks out thinking about it. And then some of the overseas races I did are always cool too.
Yeah, that Pastrana track, they had a tunnel, right? I think he raced it.
Yeah. Step onto the over under and then jump off it. And it was like going sideways. And then there was some really cool like bull turns that were like just really low, little like banks that you just hook into. And it was almost like road racing on those things. It was kind of cool. But it had some supermoto influence of TP designing it. And then he was there that night too, racing. And I mean, that was, I need to go back and watch that one. I don't really watch many old races these days unless they're like the mid 90s because that's what I grew up watching. I still like watching them. But it would be fun to go back and watch a couple of them mid 2000s races.
I think his bike blew up because I was on the 450 that year with him, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of the only times I beat him. I beat him on a pit bike, and I beat him because his bike broke. But that's about it. That's pretty much about how many times anyone's ever beat him. But
Yeah. I mean, I remember he smashed into someone. I think he hit his radiator and drained all the coolant out or something like that. Like I said, it's been a long time, but I remember something crazy like that
I
happening.
remember passing him, and he was stopping. It was like a heat race or something, and I remember it. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. But that
So
was a
you're
fun night.
so you're going into bagger racing. You raced last year on the street. What's your history there? How'd you get into it, and what's your plan?
Yeah, well, I've actually had a couple phone calls here and there through with some people that they've always tried like asking if I was interested in coming and racing road race. And I was always like, yeah, sure, let's do it. But nothing ever happened. So it just kind of comes in one of them things where you're like, oh yeah, it's another guy saying that they want to put you on a bike, but nothing really happens. And then I met Alex Fox from Sly Fox out at a Born Free show. This was probably about 3 years ago now. And we actually had dinner with some mutual friends and he's like, hey, we have a team, with Suburban Joe. And if you want to come race this, if you're friends with Rob and he's been trying to get you to, make it happen, let's get you down here and let's come do this race in June. So I was like, oh yeah. And then I was just thinking in my head, yeah, it's another maybe missed opportunity or something that might happen. But he was on it. He called me the next day. A week later, Icon had me helmet, leathers, boots. They had me everything all ready to go. And I'm like, dang, this is happening. And then Rob called and said, hey, we need to get you your race license and all that. So can you show up here in a weekend? So it went from, nothing to all happening within about 2 weeks. So it was pretty crazy. So that was cool. So that was my first year ever road racing, ever even being on a road race track, except for one time when I was younger. I think I was like 15 or 16. I did a track day. It was like a Parts Unlimited track day, but I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was wearing my dad's Harley leathers. I had zippers down the front, and we borrowed some gloves from a dealership just so we could go out and ride that thing. And I remember me and my buddy were on the way to that track day that day, and we had some R1s, and we got to the track and our ramp was missing out the back of the pickup. We're like, holy crap, we lost our ramp going down the interstate. So that kind of sticks out. But that was my first time ever doing it. And it honestly scared me. So I really wasn't interested in it too much after that. I like dirt bikes. But then as this bagger thing kind of got more popular, and I did a few hooligan races also on a Sportster. And this stuff just started looking more fun and fun. And I've been interested in getting back out racing or doing something since I quit racing supercross. 2017 was my last supercross, and just kind of been hanging out, waiting to see what's next after that. So this kind of just fell into my arms, and it's been an awesome time really since. So going on my third year this year. This will be my first year on a bagger. Bridgestone and Suburban Harley put together an awesome bike for me. So it's going to be a good time. It'll be a cool learning experience for sure.
For everyone who doesn't know, tell us about what's going on with bagger racing. There's some new classes.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually just talked to Blake Wharton yesterday too, and he was interested in doing some racing and trying to teach him about the classes and this and that. And yeah, so pretty much I was on a Sportster XR 1200 in the lightweight twins class, it was called. So that was all air cooled, V-twin Harleys and that type of Indian and that type of bike, and pretty much just raced with a few other Sportsters in that class. And I think this year it's going to be one air cooled class. They changed up the classes a little bit this year to make it a little more friendly for all the racers and to make it a little bit more easy to understand, I think, is what Rob was doing. So they changed up the classes a little bit, but pretty much you can have a stock Sportster, you could have a modified Sportster, you could go out and race that thing, put some tires on it and go. And then they also have the new Pro Stock Bagger or the new what's it, Pro Street?
Super
Super
Street.
Street. Yep. So that'll be more of an entry class also for more people to kind of get into it. And you can talk to you or a few other people about more of the rules on that. I'm not 100% sure on the exact details and all that, but it's pretty easy to kind of go out and get used to being on a street bike, but doing it on any sort of bike that you might have in the garage too. They've made some classes this year to where that makes that easier, so that's pretty cool.
And this year you're on a bagger, so that's going to be a little different. Tell us about the bagger bike and what we need to do to make a performance race bagger.
Yeah, for sure. So our bike has quite a few things done. They've been racing them for a few years now. Our team has, with Benny Carlson and Jesse Janish. And yeah, it's pretty cool that the parts that they've done to these things, and the swing arms, and getting the bikes way higher so you can lean in the corners and lightening them up and all that type of thing. So we have some awesome sponsors helping out with that too, and I think the basic things is just getting the bikes higher and get some good tires on them. You don't want to be dragging primaries or anything like that in them corners. So you kind of got to be careful getting them foot pegs up a little bit higher. But other than that, if you wanted to come race on a street bike that's a stock M8 or something, you'd be fine. You just gotta, it's all about the turns and that type of thing anyway. So them bikes are fast enough. I think you can kind of make anything happen. But I'm in a pro stock bagger class this year, which has a little bit more freedom for running different parts and that type of thing. So we're gonna have, our bikes have swing arms and all that type of thing. So yeah, we'll be on a little bit quicker of a bike than, say, that the more stock class, but it's kind of cool that there's stepping stones up to the bagger GP class, where I think they can run turbos and all that type of thing. So there's 3 classes for the V twins, and that's cool to kind of get everyone in there and racing, but kind of making it fair and fun for everyone too.
All right, they have the sport bike classes this year. Classic, sport bike, unlimited, next generation. There's like 5 of those classes. And then they have the metric bagger, stock, and then open metric. So what do you think of getting a gold wing out there? How do you feel about that class?
Oh, I think that'd be awesome. I'll be in the stands watching that class for sure. So that sounds pretty cool. I mean, I hope that it just gets some more people out there on a track that just hasn't even been there or ever thought about doing it. I think of friends like my buddy Stan back in Iowa, who rides his Indian everywhere, and guys like that, and some other kind of people that may never even just thought, hey, I could actually go out on a track and maybe compete. So that'd be cool. And then heck, you might see some people going all out on these things and turning them into full race bikes like we've done at the Harleys also. So that'd be kind of cool. I'm interested to see how that class turns up for sure. So heck, I think you guys put it out on April Fools and everyone thought it was a joke. And then yeah, it's serious. So that should be kind of fun to see.
There's so many of those bikes probably in garages and just sitting around. I hope that, people catch on, and it's just another way to get into racing, affordable, and just really go have fun. That's why we still do it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I stepped into this road racing thing, I didn't think it would ever really turn into much. I thought it might just be 1 or 2 races that I was fortunate enough to try, and it's kind of turned into a race series that I look forward to every year now. So that part's pretty cool. And I think there's a lot more opportunity for people to step into this and actually enjoy it and have a good time. So, with all these new classes this year and some more stepping stone classes to get people into it, it should be pretty cool and get some more racers out there. So as long as we're getting people, as long as we're all having a good time and we're getting more people into it, I don't see anything. I don't see it going away anytime soon. That's for sure.
What's crazy about these bikes, we grew up watching, James Stewart and then when we got in the pros, Carmichael, Reed, all these guys, their bikes, they had every part on them. I know my bikes didn't look like theirs. I definitely didn't have fancy wheels and all this cool stuff. These bagger bikes are works of art. I mean, there's companies making specific parts for racing. They look wild, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I was always privateering it on Supercross and that type of thing too. So yeah, I had good sponsors and had some cool parts on my bikes, but they were nothing like factory bikes or anything like that. So, you go through the pits and kind of look at some of these guys' bikes, you're like, dang, these are like Harley factory bikes, and obviously there's some guys that have some really expensive, cool parts on their bikes, but there's also guys who are mixing it up with them same dudes who are more on closed stock bikes too. So it's really cool to go through the pits and see the differences in different bikes and, you know, some different seat setups, different handlebar setups. We've seen some guys running clip-ons this year on the baggers. We saw some guys, running a higher type bar. So, it's pretty cool that in the dirt bike world, all the bikes are pretty much the same, at least looks wise, when you basically look at a dirt bike. But you come into the pits of these bikes and you're like, well, that thing's racing that class against that guy on that bike. So it's kind of cool to just shows everyone that with the bagger series, getting bigger and the technology coming in, you're seeing stuff kind of come up pretty quick and new parts and stuff being made that are even from race bike or from race to race. So, I know last year Benny had a few different parts on his bike that looked way different each week. So, that's pretty cool for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what everyone's bike looks like this year. We did see a sneak peek of your bike, the bright red 374 Bridgestone Suburban Sly Fox team. I,
Yeah.
I bet you're excited. How can we watch you this year? And how can we follow you along on your social media?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I'm not sure on your guys' TV package yet what you're doing for advertising that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what BRL is going to make that happen. So with that, I'm sure there'll be some races on live at some point, and there'll be some on YouTube after. So stay tuned on that for watch the BRL social pages on that. But as for me, you can check out my Instagram at Cody Gilmore 374 and I'll be posting some stuff on there throughout the year. And, we might even get a couple vlogs on YouTube at a couple races. I think me and the chick have talked about doing that, which I think would be kind of cool. I watched some of the supercross ones and they're cool. So maybe if we can get one of them put together, I think that would be kind of fun to follow along with a couple weeks leading up to the race and throughout the weekend. So we can make that happen for Nebraska. That would be cool. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out on that bike. Suburban and boys did an awesome job building it. And I've actually got to see it at Daytona and one other time and sit on it and kind of feel some of the kinks and all that type of thing. And I'm just looking forward to riding it. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to ride them until the first weekend. I was hoping to maybe get a practice day in one weekend up before that. But looks like we're going into the race and going to be getting used to it and first time out on it race weekend, which will be interesting, but it'll be a good time no matter what. So we'll definitely have some work to do once we show up in Hastings, Nebraska, but hopefully we can get all the bugs worked out in the practice day and come out swinging for Saturday and Sunday.
On the TV here, we have or I'm sorry, pit race last year, and it was raining. And before we talk about the rain on a Harley or a street bike, we want to thank Browen's Furniture. Now you're going to Gingerman, right, Cody?
That's the plan.
Yeah. So when you're out there, you get some new furniture. They've been around since 1955. They're in Allendale, Michigan, so right down the road from Gingerman, and they're West Michigan's premier Amish showroom. So they made the show happen today. And for over 6 decades, they're the go-to place for the highest quality American-made upholstery and Amish-crafted wood furniture. So we'll have to make a trip over there, huh?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm planning on getting that new house here soon, one of these days. So I'm gonna have to stack up the living room and everything and the bedrooms with some new furniture. So I might have to get over there and check that stuff out for sure.
Just like Harley Davidson, made in the USA. You got to get this isn't IKEA stuff.
No, no, all that kind of furniture, the Amish built furniture, that stuff's awesome. I've seen a lot of it around, and it's the best quality, best made stuff you can get. So I'm sure it's top of the line stuff. I'm looking forward to get out and check that out for sure. We need to get some furniture out to the track so we have somewhere to chill and stuff. In between the races too.
Yeah, we need
Have a big couch set up and
lounge.
a full blown living room right in our pits. That's what we need to make happen.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Make sure we get some air, some those big fans.
Big fans, a couch, maybe a bed over here to relax in, and yeah, we can make it happen for sure. We'd have the setup then.
I think we're going to be doing a live podcast there, and they're going to set up an area with furniture for us. So we'll have our own lounge at Gingerman.
Nice, nice, perfect. Well, that sounds like the move right there.
All right. So the rain weather, what's it like versus dry weather versus the rain? Because it seems kind of scary.
For me, my first weekend, getting my race license, and then we did a race license type class school that morning, and then the afternoon was a track day when I first showed up, and it was raining the first day out. So the first time I ever went out it was raining, and they put some rain tires on. They're like, you should be good to go, and I'm out there and I'm pretty calm anyways, and I remember one time I just rolled on it a little bit, just hit a slick spot, and that rear end came clear out, and it pitched me clear back. Somehow I saved it, but I don't know. And the other buddy who was also getting their race class that day, he ended up going down in it. So we got welcomed into the whole road racing, family in the rain. So that kind of spooked me a little bit. And then Pittsburgh showed up, and I'm like, I at least had a little bit knowing what to feel, but I was taking her pretty easy, so I didn't want to be going down. But some of them guys are ripping it, with more experience with me in the rain and just getting ready to, or getting more time out on the track and stuff. I've become more comfortable with it. I actually like the mud in supercross and motocross a lot. So, it's kind of the same thing where, you're kind of just letting the bike ride underneath you and that type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little sketchy, but I was fine in Pittsburgh with it, and then the teammate Benny, he went out and just absolutely smoked them in the rain, and he made it happen. So with a guy like that in your corner and kind of helping you out, that type of thing, you can get some good pointers and that type of stuff, that helps out a lot. So yeah, is it awesome or preferred? No, but hey, it's motorcycle racing, so you kind of just have to make it happen. What you're given.
Rain or shine. I mean, I hope the weather's nice the first round. I don't think I'm excited to ride in the rain, but we'll do what we got to do.
Yeah, I think everyone, especially for the first round, wants it to be dry. Everyone's got new bikes or new parts. A lot of us haven't been out on the road, tracks since California. That was the last time I've been out on a track. So, just getting back the first weekend, you're wanting to kind of, or actually, yeah, California was my last race. I did Daytona too, but that was October. But yeah, so yeah, the first weekend we're all going to want it to be dry, and I'm sure the team owners and guys who are on teams, they don't want their bikes going down. The privateers who have built their own bikes and spent all winter and all their money building these things, they don't want to have something happen the first round. So also, I think there's a lot of spectators and a lot of fans looking forward to coming out. Like I said, I kind of grew up in that area and have a lot of friends. And just a friend yesterday texted me and said that have a big crew coming out, to hang out and camp for the whole weekend and watch. So I think if the weather's nice, it's going to be an awesome turnout and an awesome weekend for sure. So either way, we'll be racing and having a good time. I'm sure we'll get at least a couple races in if the, in good weather, no matter what it's like throughout the weekend. But if we can get sunny skies all weekend, it's gonna be next level for sure.
All right. Well, we definitely want to let people know you can get tickets to watch Cody at the baggerracingleague.com. Also, all of Cody's past races are on the Bagger Racing League YouTube. Follow Cody, and we're excited to watch him this year. Hopefully I can watch you and then get some pointers before I get out there on the track. I know neither of us have ridden this track, but it's going to be fun. Thanks for getting on here with us. And
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. I'm just looking forward to seeing you guys out there. Created a family at the races. I grew up racing motocross and all that stuff, and seeing everyone the same weekend. And now that's what this series is like to me. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the family and friends and all the racers out there, and looking forward to mixing it up with everyone. So hope to see everyone at one of the races this year. And thanks for having me on. Thanks to all my sponsors for supporting me this year. I'm looking forward to making you guys proud.
all right, Cody, I'll see you here at the races.
All right, man. Have a good one. See you soon in a few
All
weeks.
right.